Hello, great people. Candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, has made the assertion that he is not interested in any coalition as regards the 2027 presidential election at this point in time, that if Nigerian political elite are not ready to sit down and talk about the progress of Nigeria, that is not interested in any coalition that will lead to the sack of Bola Tinubu in 2027. What is the implication of this statement? What kind of politician is Peter Obi? What is the weight of this statement on the government of Bola Tinubu and the political fortune of Peter Obi? What are the dynamics that will shape the 2027 presidential election and Peter Obi's presidential prospect? We'll be looking at this and a whole lot more on this episode of Politics, with your short blog on politics and happenings in the polity, Dr. Omosholadeji. First, before we dissect the issues as highlighted, let us hear from Mr. Peter Obi, then we come back for more discussion. Let's hear from him.
Important, let's discuss Nigeria. Whether we are going to do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now. That's what we need to remove. Because what you're doing is that you're encouraging stealing of public money. Because if I steal it and use it to win an election, then I get all the powers and everything, including immunity, not to be prosecuted. So we must stop it. That is what.
There you have it. You just heard from the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi. First, what Peter Obi said, if we look at it very well, it's not wrong in the true sense of it, but then Peter Obi's correctness is undermined by the extent of his incorrectness. And I will explain that to you. Peter Obi is reasoning like a politician that is operating in a sane society. He is operating like a politician that maybe Nigeria is a developed country like the UK, the Canada, the Australia, That's how Peter Obi is operating. Peter Obi is not operating like a Nigerian politician. He's not thinking like a Nigerian politician. So Peter Obi is right in his assertion, but the context at which he is placing the assertion and the political climate where Peter Obi is operating in, Peter Obi is not correct. He's thinking like a politician in, the Western countries. This is Nigeria. And the earlier Peter Obi realized that this is Nigeria and the political dynamics, the political pattern of Nigeria is different, especially if you are ever dreaming of contesting against a political strategist like Bola Tinubu in 2027, the earlier for Peter Obi. If he ever dreams to be the president of Nigeria, and I have analyzed before that 2027 is the best opportunity that Peter Obi has, else it may turn out to be an Atiku Abubakar who will be a veteran contestant, because if he misses the opportunity in 2027, it may be difficult for him to be president, because the North will be yearning for power in 2031. And if the North spends 8 years in power, that will be till 2039. And by that 2039, new political superstars may have emerged. Now, the Peter Obi statement that he's not interested in coalition at this time, that he's interested in talking about the growth and development of Nigeria. Let's also look at what this means for politics in Nigeria and particularly the political fortune of Peter Obi. Now, Peter Obi is right, but he is wrong in the context of Nigeria, because when your opponent is mainly thinking of retaining power, your opponent that is already in power, Bola Tinubu, that is already the president of Nigeria, he is thinking of retaining power. Some of the things that are happening in the opposition party, the crisis, it has been asserted that, that they are seeing the hands of Bola Tinubu in it. So if Bola Tinubu is doing that for the purpose of 2027, if Wike is busy fermenting trouble in the PDP, if he's fermenting trouble every now and then, that means that Bola Tinubu is already strategizing So already placing himself in a strategic position to retain power. If you have that person as your opponent, you also should be mainly thinking of grabbing or regaining power. That should be your thinking. So if your opponent is playing the politics of 2027 now, and you are trying to be politically correct, you are reasoning like a Western politician, you won't see that power. You won't grab that power, because by the time you will now be interested in playing the politics, by the time you will now be interested in the coalition, it will be too late. And Peter Obi should not forget that whatever tall dream that he has for Nigeria, whatever his dream, whatever his interest, whatever his hopes for Nigeria, he needs political power to effect his desired changes in the Nigerian society. That's the way Nigeria operates. And I'll give you instances, I'll give you examples to back it up, that in Nigeria, no matter who you are, you need that political power. You need to be in charge before you can bring down your dream to reality, else it will not come to pass. I'll give you an example. Number one is MK Abiola. MK Abiola is rich. He has a lot of money. Money is not his problem. Fame is not his problem. Connection is not his problem. But he still desires to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because why? His developmental dreams for Nigeria, he realized that it can only be actualized if he is the man at the helm of affairs. So all these, policies, consumption to production that, Peter Obi usually dishes out and all that, did Peter Obi realize that he needs to be at the helm of affairs before he can bring about that is desired change for Nigeria? And for him to actualize that desired change, he needs to play the politics, especially in a democracy. He needs to be strategic of how he can truly, have access to that power. Then he can realize his dream for Nigeria. Let me give you another example of Obafemi Awolowo. Awolowo was already connected. He already has money. He already has the fame. He already has the popularity. He was the premier of the Western region. He has already occupied different political office. But because he has a particular dream for Nigeria, he tried to be the number one in Nigeria, because he realized that it is when he is the man at the helm of affairs, if the buck stops at his table, that is when he can actualize his dream for Nigeria. I hope Peter Obi is learning from MK Abiola and from Obafemi Awolowo. The third example that we give you is the man on the seat itself right now, Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State for 8 years. Before then, he was a senator. He rose to become the kingmaker that is installing governors, senators, ministers in the southwest of Nigeria. Still, he has his own dream of how he wants Nigeria to be. Many people will argue that if this is his dream, then he leaves much to be desired. But after being the leader of the political rulers in the southwest, Bola Tinubu still made himself the national leader of APC, that he played a major role in installing Buhari. And after that, he still wants to be president, because he realized that his dream for Nigeria cannot be actualized if he's not the man at the helm of affairs. So Peter Obi, no matter how good his dream is, he needs to play the politics to make sure that he finds himself at the helm of affairs, because Peter Obi spoke about the future of the country. Yes, it's good to speak about the future of the country. The future is important. But the truth is, Nigerian politicians that he's dealing with, they don't care about the future. What they want is to grab power. And if Peter Obi is not interested in grabbing power, they will move to another politician that is interested in grabbing the power. And don't forget that in Nigeria, politics is an all-inclusive sport. That means that you need everybody, both the mad, the crazy, the intelligent, the unintelligent, the stupid. You need everybody, because politics is an all-inclusive sport. Electioneering, you need the vote of anybody and everybody for you to emerge as the winner. Now, Peter Obi said he's not interested in coalition for power grabbing. But the truth is, coalition in Nigeria are often for power grabbing. When the APC was formed in Nigeria, it was for the purpose of grabbing power. The CPC bloc of Buhari came together with a faction of AMPP and also the ACN at that point in time, and the NPDP at that point in time. They marched together. Why? for the purpose of rescuing power from Goodluck Jonathan at that point in time. So coalition is often for a specific short-term purpose. I think I need to stress that as a political scientist, that coalition is often for a short-term purpose. Peter Obi is speaking on the long term, and coalition doesn't come, especially for election. They don't form coalition for long-term goals. It is very rare. Coalition for electioneering is always for short-term goals, which is to grab the power and effect the change that you desire and your dream for the country. And you will see that during the Buhari time, they were saying change, which the Hausa Fulani usually call changi, right? That APC, change. So the coalition came together to actualize a change in power. So Peter Obi needs to realize that coalition are often for power grabbing. So if he is not interested in grabbing power, then he should not be thinking about coalition at all. And with the standard Peter Obi has in Nigeria today, if he doesn't involve in any coalition, he can't become president. That's the truth. That's one fact I must tell you. That if Peter Obi is going the way he's going now, he cannot become president. He needs a coalition, especially from the north. He already has a good standing in the south. He already has like a strong outing in the south, strong acceptability in the south. Then he needs that northern support. So he needs to form a coalition with some of the political juggernauts in the north for him to actualize his presidency, just as Buhari did. That he was a northern superstar at that point in time. He formed alliance with the political machinery of Bola Tinubu in the south, and he was able to emerge president. So Peter Obi needs to learn from that, because right now he's more of a sectional, political superstar than a national superstar. Because if you look at it, like others, Peter Obi is regionally strong but nationally weak. And I'll give you examples. Buhari was, as I just said, sectionally strong in the north. Nationally, at that point in time, he was weak, and that was why he needed a coalition. Kwakwanso in the last election shows that he is sectionally strong. In fact, we can't even rate Kwakwanso as sectionally strong because he only did well in maybe I think 2 or 3 states. So we can't rate him as sectionally strong. But for the purpose of this conversation, let us agree that okay, Kwakwanso is sectionally strong in the north. Kwakwanso, we also need that Southern Alliance for him to emerge president. So we can say that Kwakwanso and Peter Obi are like bread and beans. So Peter Obi needs Kwakwanso, Kwakwanso needs Peter Obi for them to have a good meal, which is to occupy the presidential seat of Nigeria. So whether Peter Obi likes it or not, he needs a coalition. And by next year, 2026, electionary process will start. So the best time for the coalition, if he's truly interested in forming a government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the time is now. So Peter Obi should stop reasoning like all these Western politicians. And I hope he has political strategists around him to be able to kind of like tell him that, Mr. Obi, if you want to be president, the time to act is now. And if the crisis in the Labour Party is anything to go by, Peter Obi needs to start a coalition, perhaps with other political parties, in such a way that he will be rest assured that he has a platform in 2027, because he needs a political party. So if he's not doing the coalition now, then as day goes by, his chance of being the president of Nigeria is reducing. Nigerian political class are often after power and the gains that comes along with it. They are not really after, all these political philosophy that Mr. Peter Obi is preaching. Unfortunately, like I said, Peter Obi is saying the right thing, but within the context at which he's operating, it's not being strategic enough, because in Nigeria, you need the coalition. And if you are telling people that you want to align with that, and it's about the future of Nigeria, it's not about grabbing power, they will run away from you. They will run away to another person. So as much as you are sharing a good dream for Nigeria, as much as you are interested in a developed Nigeria, definitely you must also be thinking about the coalition, which is that you must align. If Peter Obi wants power in 2027, I assert to you strongly as a political scientist that he must align. He must form a coalition with other people, especially in the north. If he doesn't, if he decides to go into the election, the Peter Obi that he is now, without any coalition or alliance, I can tell you that he will most likely not win that election. That is the truth. So he needs to align either with the Atiku or the Peter or the Kwakwanso. Just find some of these people to align with, and the best time for that is now. Election is just a day exercise, but the preparation for election sometimes takes as long as 10 years. Look at Bola Tinubu. He brought Buhari, he installed Buhari. Buhari wasn't cooperative, he's still supporting for second term. All those things that Tinubu was doing during Buhari's time, he was preparing for one day exercise, which is the 2023 presidential election. I wish Peter Obi the best of luck, and I hope that the Nigerian political class will start thinking about the future that Peter Obi is concerned about, and not just about grabbing power or retaining power. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Always remember that I love you all. Sincerely.